Hey there, and welcome back to the Virtual Cafe for another coffee convo about business finances. I'm your host, Kerry Zarb, and I am joined by Kim White. We invite you to join us at our table with your favourite brew. Let's pull up our chairs and get into today's episode. Come on, let's go. It's coffee time. Kim, I think I've got a headache.
Oh no, Kerry, how come?
Oh, there was all these words and more words. Lots of different words. I was working on the words. You know what words do to me, Kim?
So what were you doing, Kerry?
I don't know, but I think I'm heading back to the numbers.
Well, I don't know, Kerry. Sometimes numbers make me feel like that. Numbers.
Well, and Kim, younger Kerry, definitely numbers were not. Oh my God, they just hurt my brain. They hurt my brain so much. The numbers. Now it's the words. Now I'm okay with the numbers, but I've got to struggle with the words. So maybe I should put a call out to all the listeners. I need help with words. You guys are struggling with numbers, maybe? Tell you what, we've all got struggles, Kim.
Me too, Kerry. And I want to say, and you're a published author, and you're saying this about words. Just saying.
Yeah, but that stuff just came out of my head. You know, that was just like different words.
I don't know, Kerry. I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. So, Kim, for a lot of us, the numbers do hurt our brains. I think this struggle is real.
Well, the struggle might be real, Kerry, but what is hurting your brain about the numbers?
Well, from what people are telling me is it is overwhelming. It's a little bit daunting. And I think there's something rattling around in our heads just going, oh, I don't want to. I just don't want to.
So can I make a confession, Kerry?
Yeah.
So I confess sometimes whenever I get numbers in a report form, like I get them back, I don't always understand them. That's what makes my head hurt about numbers, is what do I do with them once I get to the place that I have them? What would I do not to have a headache about that?
And Kim, let me say out loud that this still happens to me. If I didn't write the report that has the numbers on them, because I have accountants in my world, so I'm giving a lot of numbers and I'm controlling a lot of numbers, but they all go to the accountant. And it's very frequent that accountant will do their magical things with it and send on back a different set of reports, different to what I delivered. Maybe it goes from the accounting platform I'm working in into theirs, and then it spits it out in a different kind of fashion that speaks more their language than it does speak my language. And sometimes, do you know what I do, Kim?
What do you do, Kerry?
If I'm not sure, if it doesn't make sense to me, I pick up the phone and ask them.
So you're not scared to ask him, Kerry?
No. Should I be?
Well, Kerry, sometimes I don't want to feel like I'm not smart. So sometimes I will, maybe not speak up.
There's only one problem with that, Kim. That's where we stay. We're not going to get anywhere. I don't need to be the smartest person. And trust me, and I'm just going to say this out loud, there's some accountants out there that kind of make you do feel a little bit silly, like you should, especially me, because I'm that next level in dealing with someone else's finances, even my own finances with my accountant when I have to pick up the phone to him and ask a question. Sometimes you don't always feel the best, and sometimes this is the bit that I love the most. Sometimes you ask the question and the answer you get back you don't understand. So I ask again.
So true, Kerry.
I ask again and I ask again. I need to be clear. I need to understand. You know, these are my numbers, or if there's someone else's numbers, they're affecting me in some way that I need to understand it. So am I rude, Kim, in just asking until I'm clear?
Absolutely not, Kerry. I think that is what we should do in all areas of our life, is make sure we're clear. But Kerry, I have to say, this is one of those icky places for a lot of people. It takes bandwidth, it takes brain power to start to learn and understand these things. And Kerry, you suggest a lot of times we don't do this all at once.
I do say that, Kim, because everything, especially, if you're in this place of numbers hurt my brain, I get it. So there is no point when you're feeling like that, oh, let's just stack some more on. Let's put some more numbers and some more pressure and think about making the call and really pushing for the answer. Man, your brain's going to explode. Like, you're literally going to have that explosion on the spot because it's not the time. And I say this a lot, Kim, that not every day is a finance day. You know, I love to talk about when we schedule things on our calendar and setting a bit of a habit and a routine to it and get into the groove on the right day at the right time. Don't do it when you've got to be running out the door, you've got all this pressure from over here. But it's the same for those phone calls. It's the same for those questions. It's everything to do with the numbers. Everything has to be done at the right time. I don't always feel like talking to accountants. Some days I wake up and, I've had to deal with X, Y, and Z. And if it's on my calendar that I need to call an accountant, unless there's a pressing deadline and I really do need to make that call, normally I don't let it get to that point where I'm in that zone of I have to call them today, there's no other option. I'll move it. I'll move that. Okay, tomorrow's going to be a better day because I won't have to deal with this stuff in the morning. I'm going to do it on that day. And sometimes I even plan ahead for some of those conversations that are heavier. And that's me who plays with numbers all the time. I still need to think about my bandwidth because I'm not always going to be on point with my questions. I'm not always going to be taking and absorbing the information that they're giving me in return because I don't feel like that every day. I'm not a robot. I'm not a supercomputer that's going to be able to do that at any split moment in time. It has to be scheduled. I have to be in the right mindset. So therefore, I've got to look at my calendar and be careful when that's happening.
So Kerry, I will confess that the club that you run is very important to me because it is set on my calendar and it is a time when I can come and work. I can work on things, I can ask questions, I can do all of that. So that's become one of my favorite times that I can get some answers and not have to have that headache, not have to have that pain. I just want to say that, Kerry.
Well, Kim, thank you for saying that because I love the little club. I think it's a great space that people can come, ask questions, work on your stuff. Like, some of us can't actually even bring ourselves. The brain hurts so much from the numbers that we can't even bring ourselves to put it on our calendar. So sometimes turning up in a group setting and having that schedule, it's that level of accountability, Kim. When am I going to work on my finances? Well, you know what? We catch up once a month for a couple of hours. It's a perfect time to work on your numbers. But then I'm there and others are there if you need to ask questions. So if you get stuck on anything, it's good. But you're also spending time with other people that are in the same shoes as you. Other people that get stuck and other people that need to work on their finances and struggle to put it on their calendar. Other people's that brains hurt from the numbers. So you're not alone and you get the opportunity to turn up and get unstuck.
I love it, Kerry. Love it, love it. I also want to say one more thing about it though, Kerry, is, it's kind of embarrassing when you're full grown and you don't understand something and you don't want to ask. And I feel like that is another very important part of what you're doing in the club is no one is turning up and being embarrassed. Like, we don't have to share the things. We can ask our questions and you help us, and everybody else there, like, they learn stuff too by other people asking questions. So I think it's really important to know that it's private as far as we're not sharing our bank statements and we're not sharing that kind of stuff. But if we have some sort of a question, Kerry, you're right there to answer.
And Kim, that's probably one of my favourite parts as well, because, and just for the record, because I don't know if I say this out loud enough, it is private. Yes, we are in a group setting. Yes, you ask questions out loud, but you don't show your bank statement. Nobody speaks of their private finances out loud unless they want to. They can, it's not forbidden, but then that goes nowhere if they do, because that information is not shared. I do record the sessions for the educational aspects so that if there are pieces that are shareable that can go into the vault without exposing anyone's privacy, like it is all completely private. And I like that about it too, Kim, is to know that you are in a safe place, because there's plenty of places we can hang out and have conversations, and there's plenty of places someone can ask a question and get an answer, but most of those places are pretty public, Kim.
Well, and Kerry, when you're talking about this, it's really important to acknowledge the fact that not only is it private, not only can we ask questions, not only can we get accountability, but we also are moving the needle in our businesses and not frustrated all the time and having those headaches with not knowing who to ask. I can remember times, Kerry, when I didn't even know what to ask my accountant. Like, I didn't even have any idea what to ask. And being able to talk to you helps so much for us, like, for me to even know what to ask.
And Kim, I think that's another really good point, because I think a lot of us have this numbers hurt my brain because we just get stuck and we just get into this little space of, okay, I can't get past this. I can't find the answer to this, or it's almost like, I can't even remember what it was, Kim, but I remember seeing these little remote control things. Could have been like the Daleks or something off Doctor Who, but they would go this way and stop, and they would go this way and they would stop, and they would go this way. By the way, guys, I'm going left to right to middle. Do you know what I mean? That's what happens. And having that opportunity to, and it's not that, being in this space that numbers will never hurt your brain again, but come and unpack that. Come and be in the space where you can ask those questions. Give yourself that opportunity to stop hitting those roadblocks and stop hitting those little walls that we all do in different aspects of business, whether it's your finances or whether it's your marketing and your social media, whatever that is. This is where we've all got the opportunity to find help in those areas that we need so we can move forward and we stop getting stuck.
You're the unstuckable, Kerry. You're the best.
Oh, I like that. Unstuckable. Okay, we need another. We need to continue that. Unstuckable in your digits or something.
You're like the aspirin for our headaches for finances. Let me just say that. You're the solution to our pain in our head about the digits. Like, I don't know, Kerry, I'm having coffee and having a good time just thinking of all these funnies.
And I'm picturing myself as a little white pill that drops into the water and starts to bubble and fizz. That's the aspirin.
Love it.
That's it, my brain hurts.
Well, Kerry, I'm going to grab another coffee.
Oh, that's a good idea. What are you going to have, Kim?
I think I'm going to have another mochaccino. I'm just kind of stuck on that right now.
Well, I'm looking at the menu and my brain hurts. Help me out here, Kim. I'm stuck. I'm stuck on the coffee.
I love it, Kerry. So you are our aspirin for our finances. Anyone who has suggestions for Kerry and coffee, just go ahead and drop us a line so that way we know what kind of coffee to order next time. What do you recommend? How's that, Kerry?
I like that. I'm always open to suggestions of coffee. Always. And by the way, Kim, I'm just going to say, do you know what happened?
What happened, Kerry?
I've not had an affogato in such a long time.
Oh, Kerry, I'm going to suggest you have an affogato then.
I think I should. I think that'll be my next one, an affogato with, oh my God, coffee ice cream. The best.
Well, Kerry, I'm going to leave you to your affogato. I'm going to get out of here so I can go, make sure that you are on my calendar for the club every month, and I will see you later, Kerry.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us in the Virtual Cafe. You can follow the show to be notified of future episodes, and if you're enjoying this podcast, we encourage you to leave a rating or personal review. Until next time, happy Biz Beans to you.
No beings were harmed during the production of this podcast. Information contained in this podcast should be taken as general advice only, and your personal circumstances have not been taken into account. It is recommended that you seek financial advice from a professional who is licensed to do so. If you choose to act upon the general advice shared, you do so at your